Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston subdivision in HO Scale. My name is Daryl Cruz, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 5 of season 2023. And we are getting so close to the point of working on scenery. I know a lot of you have been very anxious to see some scenery work done. It's been a year before we did any scenery, but pretty soon it's going to be a transition to pretty much all scenery. So definitely looking forward to that. But before we get to that point, we do have a few more things to take care of on bench work and track laying. Now this looks like some pretty sturdy bench work. No, I'm not doing G-scale here. Instead, I am actually building a platform for people to stand on while they're working on Westvaco. Westvaco is a trona mine and plant with some pretty extensive switching operations going on. It is on the second level at 69 inches, so it's definitely too high for most people, even those who are taller. I'm 6'2", and it's definitely too high for me. So we are going to put a platform here in front of Westvaco so people can have a chance to stand a little bit higher and operate properly at Westvaco. Now I used 2 by 10 by 8 foot pieces of wood, of lumber, and basically just bench worked them together. I actually only used 4 of them, and here you can kind of see the height of Westvaco as I'm just standing here. Here's the height while I'm standing on the platform. So it definitely makes a big difference on being able to properly operate on the layout. So basically I used 2 by 10s, and then with a 1/2 inch piece of OCB wood, and that's not the correct name of it, but anyway, that particle type of wood, 1/2 inch on there. The total height is about 10 inches. All right, the 2 by 10 is actually only 9.5 inches. So it raises a person up by 10 inches. And I just basically framed the 2 by 10s with some leftover 2 by 6s I had from our deck, and then covered it with some particle plywood on top. Once I had that done, then I painted it to match the floor, and then I used some flooring, some plastic flooring to kind of give us some tread on top. I might put some foam under there yet to give it a little bit more cushion, but I wanted to kind of blend in with the layout so the wood matches the floor while the flooring on top matches the skirting, so it blends in pretty good. And so this is about what it looks like if you are standing off of the platform, and so if you operate on the lower level, this is as close as you can get without being on the platform. So you still get a good view of everything. Then if you step up on the platform, you can get a good view of Westvaco. You see where I'm standing. And then you can still see the bottom level, but it's at much more of a downward look. And so you could possibly stand on the platform if you're doing the lower level, but I think I'm going to have it mainly be for working on Westvaco. Now, I kind of wanted to make sure for safety reasons that somebody's not working at Westvaco and forget that they're on a platform, and then take a step back, or try to, if there's 2 people on the platform, try to walk around the other person and forget that they're on a platform and stumble to the ground. So I decided to put this little railing up here, and I basically just used some 1x2s that I painted white to kind of look good in the area, and I was real happy with the way it looked. Not real sure Here you can kind of get a good idea of what the lower level looks like. Definitely get a good view. So overall, it looks pretty good. I am going to change the railing. It's just way too flimsy. I built it out of 1x2s because I thought I really don't want it there to actually stop anybody from following. I just wanted it to be there to remind people that they're on a platform. But it is really flimsy, and to the point where I'm afraid if my grandkids are down here, they'll rip it off or somehow be playing on the platform and break it. So I've already decided to use some 2x4s. I might still use the 1x2s at a more of a horizontal layout, but definitely going to need some 2x4s for the main supports to give it some more, to make it more sturdy, so that it will in fact hold people from falling to the floor. So I want it to be as safe as possible. I also put some cushioning on the beam there, so that somebody doesn't crack their head on that. So I'm trying to be safety conscious as possible. Now, one thing I noticed after putting this together, not only does it help you work on Westvaco, but it actually gives you a really good view of the entire layout. It's really kind of a view I hadn't really, actually, looked at before. But here we actually have all 4 trains in the same location here. I have 4 trains going at the same time right now. But you can pretty much see the entire layout. So it worked out pretty good on how things turned out. That's really pretty much all I did this week. I also built a few turnouts. So I have 3 turnouts done for Westvaco. I need about 4 or 5 more. I am hoping this coming week, to build some more turnouts and really start getting into laying track at Westvaco. The only track work I have left to do is at Westvaco, and then also the Pocatello sub, which comes off the main line at Granger. So I'm thinking that in a week or 2 should be completely done with the track lane and the bench work and so forth, and also this platform. So here's where I'm going to be doing the last of the track work. I have an operating session coming up on a Wednesday on the 15th. So that's just a week and a half away. So I'm hoping to have all this track put in here at Westvaco. One reason I wanted to do the platform, by the way, is so that I could more easily work on the track work here at Westvaco. So it's a little bit to have it done, but also a little bit to make sure I could get things done more effectively when I work on the track work here at Westvaco. So that's something to look forward to next week, to see how this is all going to be laid out. I think I was real happy with how things turned out at the UTLX facility. Definitely some interesting operations that are going to take place there. But this is actually at Westvaco is going to be even more involved and even more operations potential. So we'll kind of get a chance to see all that come together this coming week or week and a half. And then the last week of February, I think we're going to be looking at doing some scenery. In fact, Mark Bridgewater is going to be here on the 15th for the operating session, along with Scott Chatfield. And the 3 of us are hopefully going to be able to do some scenery. Definitely Mark and I. I'm not real sure if Scott's going to be able to help. But we are going to be doing some scenery. And we'll probably start with the Curvo flyover and the end of the peninsula. That's kind of where I want to start with. My goal is to get the peninsula scenic first, and I'm going to just do basic scenery to start with. So I'll do the basic scenery on the Curvo area and the entire peninsula, and then I'll just kind of work around the layout, around the walls, and do the lower level and upper level section by section. And again, I'm going to be doing the basic scenery, which is basically the landforms, painting, ground foam, basic vegetation, basic rock work, roads as far as the right-of-way for roads. And then I'll come back and I'll do the detailed scenery. This is a great view. You can see all the way across the layout as the trains go into the helix there. So if you ever come and visit the layout and want to see a good vantage point to see the whole entire layout, how it all kind of fits together, you can actually see two trains there in the distance, one on the upper level, one on the lower level. The train on the upper level is going to be heading into the helix, which is behind the Masonite there, and then the lower level is going through Evanston. So that's where we are right now. Look forward to more track work next week. Things are moving along. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great week, everybody.